You know the face, piercing blue eyes, the chiseled jaw of an all-American hero. On screen, he was the righteous lawman, the noble warrior, and even the son of God. Jeffrey Hunter was the handsome, wholesome face of 1950s Hollywood. He stood shoulder to shoulder with John Wayne in The Searchers and gave a revered performance as Jesus Christ in King of Kings. His public life was a masterclass in masculine perfection and domestic bliss, complete with beautiful wives and adoring children. He was everything the powerful studio system wanted him to be. But behind the glamour of Hollywood's golden age, secrets were a form of currency, and exposure meant ruin. For decades, Jeffrey Hunter's story was seen as that of a gifted actor who died tragically young. But a far more complex, clandestine narrative has always lingered in the shadows of Hollywood lore. It's a story that revolves around a set of alleged private journals and letters, documents that have never been authenticated, and which may not even exist. Yet the rumor persists. These writings supposedly contain the long-buried secrets of his heart, painting a portrait of a man torn between the perfect image he sold to the world and the forbidden love he supposedly found with some of Hollywood's most famous leading men. This isn't a story of verified fact. It's an exploration of a powerful Hollywood legend, a rumor that claims to come from the pen of Jeffrey Hunter himself, a story of secret romance, incredible risk, and the suffocating pain of living a double life. If the whispers about these journals are true, they don't just rewrite the life of Jeffrey Hunter. They expose the hidden, interconnected world of gay actors who survived an era designed to erase them. Today, we're opening the book on this legend to reveal the famous men he was rumored to have romanced in secret. For decades, he was the all-American hero on screen, the star of classics like The Searchers and King of Kings. But a persistent Hollywood rumor claims that the private journals of 1950 star Jeffrey Hunter tell a story the studios never wanted you to hear. For the first time, we're exploring the contents of these rumored journals and the famous Hollywood actors who were supposedly his lovers. This is a journey into the heart of the glass closet, a story of love, fear, and the devastating price of secrecy. To really get why this rumor is so explosive, you have to understand the man the world thought it knew. Born Henry Herman McInnes Jr., Jeffrey Hunter was practically molded for stardom. With a theater degree from Northwestern and a stint in the Navy, he landed in Hollywood in 1950, and 20th Century Fox immediately saw dollar signs. He was impossibly handsome, with a clean-cut appeal that was perfect for post-war America. Those blue eyes could sell sincerity and strength, making him a key player in the studio's arsenal. The studio system back then didn't just build careers, it built personas. And Hunter's persona was the quintessential American man. This image was cemented in 1950 when he married the stunning actress Barbara Rush. They were the picture-perfect Hollywood couple, their union splashed across magazines as the height of glamour. The birth of their son, Christopher, in 1952, just completed the idyllic family portrait the studio was selling. On screen, this persona was magnified 1,000 times over. In John Ford's masterpiece, The Searchers, he was the moral compass to John Wayne's hardened antihero. But his most iconic role came in 1961 when he was cast as Jesus Christ in King of Kings. It was a role that demanded an aura of purity and unimpeachable character. Hunter's performance was widely praised, and his face became, for a generation, the face of Christ. The film was well received by many religious groups, cementing his image not just as a hero, but as a figure of moral authority. Behind the scenes, the pressure to keep that image spotless was crushing. The Hollywood of the 50s and 60s operated with morality clauses in contracts, giving studios total control over a star's private life. Any hint of scandal, especially being gay, was a career ender. It was a life ruiner. Police constantly raided gay bars, and being outed meant public humiliation and jail time. So, the studios became masters of illusion. They arranged lavender marriages, pairing gay actors with female partners to create a straight facade. They planted fake romance stories in gossip columns. They controlled every interview, every photo op. Stars like Rock Hudson, Tab Hunter, and Anthony Perkins were all caught in this system, heartthrobs to millions, all while living in constant fear. This was Jeffrey Hunter's world. A world where his public image was everything, and any crack in the facade was a catastrophe. After divorcing Barbara Rush, he married again, had 2 more sons, and adopted his new wife's son. By all public accounts, he was a devoted family man. And this is where the legend of his private journals begins. If these rumored writings are to be believed, they speak of a profound and painful duality. The suffocating tension between the man he was forced to be and the man he truly was. The first and perhaps most poignant name at the heart of this Hollywood legend is Anthony Perkins. By the late 1950s, Perkins was a huge star, soon to be immortalized as Norman Bates in Psycho. On screen, he was a master of portraying nervous energy and hidden turmoil, a skill that seems drawn from a very real place of personal anxiety. Like so many others, he was trapped in old Hollywood's closet, his life a minefield of carefully guarded secrets. The story goes that Hunter and Perkins met at a Hollywood party in the mid-1950s. The rumored journal entries don't speak of movie star swagger, but claim Hunter was immediately drawn to Perkins's nervous energy and shy charm. In a room full of fake confidence, Perkins's vulnerability was like a magnet. The legend describes an instant connection, a silent recognition of a shared burden. Their supposed romance wasn't one of big public displays. Couldn't be. The risk for both men was off the charts. One of the most heartbreaking details from this rumored journal claims Hunter wrote about their shared fear, about how they talked more than they touched, because even touching felt dangerous. That single idea, whether Hunter wrote it or not, captures the terrifying reality for gay men in that era. The simplest act of affection was laced with the fear of total ruin. Their alleged relationship supposedly unfolded in the darkest shadows of Hollywood. Late-night dinners at hidden restaurants and private walks where they could finally speak freely. According to these rumored writings, their time together was a fragile sanctuary where the performance could stop. They could talk about their frustrations with their careers and, most of all, the deep, constant fear of being exposed. Perkins, who had a string of secret relationships with men, supposedly confided in Hunter about his terror of losing everything. This rumored affair was built on a foundation of mutual understanding. Each man saw his own secret struggle reflected in the other's eyes. The legend suggests the relationship was more emotional. The context of their careers makes this rumored affair even more powerful. Hunter was the all-American hero. Perkins was the master of the macabre. Behind these opposing images, they were supposedly navigating the exact same treacherous world. They were both contracted to powerful studios that acted more like wardens. We know from Tab Hunter's memoir that Paramount executives explicitly forbade Perkins from being seen with him. It's almost certain that a rumored relationship with another male star like Jeffrey Hunter would have been a 5-alarm fire for the studios. The legend claims the constant pressure eventually wore them down, but that the bond was a brief, breathless moment of connection in a lifetime of hiding. If the legend of Jeffrey Hunter's writings is true, his reported affair with Anthony Perkins wasn't a one-off. It was just one part of a secret, informal network of gay and bisexual actors seeking comfort in one another's company. The rumored journal supposedly moves from the tender, fearful romance with Perkins to other encounters that paint a bigger picture of this hidden world. And another name that supposedly features prominently is Sal Mineo. Mineo was a different kind of star. He was the brooding, rebellious teen idol of Rebel without a cause and exodus. And unlike the cautious Hunter and Perkins, Mineo was known, at least in trusted circles, for being more impulsive and less guarded. In the 1970s, he became one of the few actors of his generation to speak openly about his bisexuality. According to the legend of the journals, it was this fearlessness that defined their connection. The rumor describes a brief, passionate affair with Mineo, supposedly more physical and impulsive than the connection with Perkins. The story claims they met on a charity project in the early 60s, and Hunter was immediately struck by Mineo's intensity. One of the most telling lines from the rumored journal is, "He was fearless in a way that scared me." That fear was likely a reflection of Hunter's own conditioning. Mineo represented a path of openness that Hunter would never dare to take. The legend continues that Mineo pursued Hunter with a boldness that was both thrilling and terrifying. And it claims that Hunter later reflected on Mineo's tragic murder in 1976 with a grim sense of insight, supposedly writing, "He didn't hide as much as the rest of us did. Maybe that's why he didn't last." It's a chilling thought, suggesting a belief that survival in old Hollywood was directly tied to one's ability to stay invisible. A third, equally compelling name that supposedly surfaces in these writings is Montgomery Clift. Clift was a titan of the era, a pioneer of method acting tormented by his repressed homosexuality and the aftermath of a devastating car accident. The legend says Hunter's connection with Clift was, at first, intellectual, long conversations about acting and the crushing weight of fame. This admiration supposedly turned into a fleeting but unforgettable romantic encounter after a party. For Hunter to have allegedly shared a moment of intimacy with Clift, one of Hollywood's great tragic figures, adds another layer of poignancy to both of their stories. And while the rumored journal doesn't claim a romance with James Dean, it supposedly speaks of him with deep admiration. Dean, the ultimate rebel, represented an authenticity that Hunter, the clean-cut studio player, could only dream of. Taken together, these rumored revelations about Perkins, Mineo, and Clift map out a hidden social geography of gay Hollywood. A loose fraternity bound by a shared secret. They found each other at parties and on studio lots, creating a sub-rosa community where the mask could finally slip. These weren't just hookups. They were acts of survival. And according to this explosive legend, Jeffrey Hunter, the all-American hero, was right there in the middle of it. Living a double life means being in a constant state of war with yourself. And the legend of Jeffrey Hunter's journals is a testament to the devastating personal cost of that war. The fear, the loneliness, and the psychological strain of maintaining a public facade left scars on an entire generation of actors. Hunter supposedly called it the suffocating duality of fame and forbidden affection. This duality was the tragic heart of the glass closet. These men were constantly on display, their every move scrutinized. They had to perform heterosexuality flawlessly, day in and day out. This meant arranged dates with starlets and lavender marriages. Hunter himself was married multiple times and was a father, and by all accounts, these relationships contained genuine affection, which only highlights the agonizing complexity of his rumored situation. If the legend is true, he was a man capable of loving women, but who found his deepest romantic connection with men. A connection he could never acknowledge. Imagine the psychic toll. Every public appearance, every interview about family life, would be charged with the terror that his secret world could implode at any second. It was a relentless, low-grade panic. This pressure created a gallery of Hollywood tragedy. Montgomery Clift's life became a slow, painful descent into addiction, his health crumbling under physical pain and psychological torment. Many biographers point to his inability to live openly as a key part of his tragedy. Sal Mineo, the fearless one, met a shocking end when he was stabbed to death in 1976. The initial police investigation and media coverage were thick with homophobia, speculating that his murder was connected to a gay motive. His life ended in violence, and his legacy was immediately filtered through the very prejudice he fought. And then there was Anthony Perkins. The man who supposedly shared that tender connection with Hunter lived his entire life in the shadow of Norman Bates and the prison of the closet. He married and had 2 sons, presenting a conventional family life to the world. But in 1992, he died from AIDS-related pneumonia. His death forced a posthumous outing, a final, tragic revelation of the truth he had spent a lifetime hiding. Jeffrey Hunter's own life was cut short. In 1969, after being injured in an on-set explosion, he died from a cerebral hemorrhage at just 42. While his death was officially linked to his injuries, you can't help but wonder what role decades of unrelenting stress played. The constant vigilance and emotional isolation take a physical toll, wearing down the body just as they wear down the spirit. The personal cost of the closet wasn't just a career. It was the loss of a whole, integrated self. It was a life lived in fragments, The rumors that have swirled around Jeffrey Hunter for years are a powerful reminder of a Hollywood that existed just beneath the surface. What are your thoughts on this secret history of the Golden Age? Let us know in the comments below. And if you believe these kinds of stories are important, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more explorations of Hollywood's forgotten history. So, what is the legacy of Jeffrey Hunter? For decades, it was that of a handsome, talented actor gone too soon. But if you entertain this persistent legend, his true legacy is far more complex. He became